Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Two Shot Tuesday. As always, my name is Jason Riley, and with me, a very refreshed Barry T. Nixon, if I may say. How are you doing,
Well,
sir?
I'm doing well, Jay. Thanks for saying I am refreshed. I am more or less. Just back from an amazing August long weekend in St. John's, Newfoundland. We had a blast. We'll get into that. It's also another sober show. And you alluded to once we've made this move to YouTube, there's been more sobriety on our show than ever before. And I told you this was a very disturbing trend.
Yes.
And I promise you it will not continue. This is not going to be the way we wrap up 25.
Please.
But it's the way that this show has to go.
Okay, well, let's do that. By kicking off, you're already unscrewing the cap of what I assume is a Nalgene bottle.
It is, with a little ghost pre-workout, which is...
Tell us about that.
Beautiful. It's just it's a high octane pre-workout. The flavor's okay. It's not great. I just maybe will pick something different next time.
What is
I've
it?
had the
Wild
sour
berry?
apple.
Sour apple?
No, it's like a lemonade freezy. I don't know. I can't remember. It's not all that hot, the flavor, but it definitely gives you that boost.
Nice.
So,
it's your shot of choice.
It's
What
my shot
I've
of
put
choice.
into a bottle that I've reused from the Summerhill Market, the good people at Summerhill Market, I've already consumed whatever was in it, and now I've shaken up a little orange Kool-Aid squeezy in that. So go ahead and reuse your bottles, folks. Orange Kool-Aid squeezy and ghost something.
Pre-workout.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
You know, some might say that we're still coming down from our 250th episode, which was a real celebration that went on to the, wee hours of the morning. And then you went promptly on vacation. And I think our listeners, our viewers would love to hear exactly, why are you so refreshed? How were things in St. John's?
Well, thank you for saying I'm refreshed. I'm not exactly refreshed. You know how sometimes you come back from a vacation and you feel like you need a vacation from the vacation?
Yes. Yeah.
That can
That's
sometimes
where
happen.
you are.
Not entirely. I was more there yesterday. I feel better today. I had a good day at work, but I do need at least a 12-hour break from alcohol. There was a lot of boozing going on in St. John's. It was the George Street Festival. That was the primary reason for us to go down when we did, I should say. And what can I tell you? The seafood was incredible, as one would expect. St. John's itself is a beautiful small town, and it's extremely hilly. It was reminiscent a little of San Francisco in parts. Like, you are getting some very steep inclines.
Really?
Sidewalks that look like they're going straight off a cliff.
Wow.
So that was interesting. Didn't know that. I guess I could have just Googled that. That would have been an easy search. But it's more fun when your boots on the ground and you discover this stuff for yourself.
Yeah.
And Newfoundlanders, by and large, the ones we met anyway, were delightful. Super nice, very friendly, very welcoming.
Where did you stay?
We stayed at a place called the Murray Premises. So shout out to them. It's like a historic group of like mercantile buildings from 1900 that have been restored. They were restored originally in the 70s. They were turned into a hotel in 2001, and it's been a hotel and adjacent restaurant since that period of time. Beautiful, really cool. Like, basically, Linda and I, our room, it had like poles in the middle of the room. Some of the wood, apparently. Poles, like not stripper poles, but
not stripper poles.
I should say beams. That would be more accurate.
Beams, yeah.
Wooden beams, not meant for dancing.
Got it.
But some of these beams are reportedly original to the structure. They go back to like 1846. So it was pretty wild. It was like sleeping in a converted warehouse that used to be part of the fishing industry back when that was a major thing in Newfoundland.
Okay. I was going to ask if it was poles, if you were paying by the hour. That would have been something to watch out for if somebody was constantly coming up there and asking for $12 or whatever the going rate is these days. In St. John's, I have another question for you.
Please.
What was the most exciting thing that you took in on your vacation away?
Wow. Okay. Well, there was a few things. One, we went on a boat cruise and we actually did see a humpback whale. We saw the same humpback whale 4 times. Do a dive, come up. He like blew his stack, then showed his tail, went back down, popped back up. And, apparently they can hold their breath for 35 minutes. Thankfully, this guy wasn't down there as long as that.
Yeah.
Because it was only a 2-hour cruise, Jay. But we got to see the same one 4 times, which is pretty awesome. There was no icebergs to be seen. That was part of the tour, but we didn't see any. But we did see some puffins.
How can they, like, that seems like something you could guarantee. Like, they don't move away so quickly.
Well, that's true. One would think that they're not
Yeah.
racing icebergs.
Yeah.
It's
So
not
what
really,
happened? How
it's
did
not
they
the
miss it?
fastest. Yeah, I don't know, but they didn't mention it, and so I think they just sort
Okay.
of they blew past it when they were so excited to say, "Hey, we got humpbacks," and everyone just lost their minds, of course.
Right.
So we saw
Nobody
the whales.
loses
That
their
was the
mind.
most important thing.
Yeah, nobody loses their mind for ice, I guess. So not so
No,
much. Would have been nice to see.
it would have been, and maybe it's maybe it's reason to go back. But yeah, we didn't see those. But that was one of the definite highlights. We also did a hike to Quiddy Viddy fishing village, which is like
Okay.
a you know, I mean, it's definitely a tourist attraction. It's not necessarily now a working fishing village, obviously, but some of the original structures are there from many moons ago. So
Yeah.
that was kind of cool. And then we also did a hike up to Signal Hill, where the first transatlantic Morse code was sent many moons ago as well. So it was great. Tons of walking. Like those two hikes in particular, round trip was like 12 kilometers. And we walked
Wow,
from our
lots.
hotel and back.
Yeah.
So
Well, shout out to the gentleman that cuts my hair, Daryl. He'll be cutting my hair this week. He is from St. John's, New Brunswick. And so
yeah.
he will want me to ask
New
you,
Brunswick, not Newfoundland.
or sorry, St. John's, Newfoundland.
Okay.
Sorry. You went to St. John's, Newfoundland,
I
not
did.
St. John, New Brunswick. My brother lived in St. John, New Brunswick, and a friend of mine lives there. So I sort of threw that off. So St. John's, Newfoundland,
Mm-hmm.
he will want me to ask you, did you and Linda get screeched in?
We did not. We were
Really?
not offered. Yeah, it's not a thing that happens every time you go into a bar or restaurant, which is the notion that I had. I figured we would be getting screeched in immediately upon leaving the
Yeah.
aircraft, but that was not the case. And we ate at a bunch of different bars right in the thick of all the action on Water Street and then on George Street. No, we did
Did
not have that experience. We were not invited to that.
did
So, but
you
that's okay.
drop any hints? Maybe
Well,
wear
we
a
said we were
t-shirt?
visitors. We were
Yeah.
visiting. I
If
mean, but
there's any customs that you have for visitors, maybe we
I
would be
didn't
receptive. Did you kind of lead them down the path that far? That
I didn't want to
overtly?
act. I didn't want to be that thirsty. I got to be honest with
Okay.
you.
All
I simply
right.
said we were travelers. I didn't say what can you give me. What is there any
Yeah.
ceremony I can participate in? I'm thinking of it. It sounds like screeched something. No, we didn't
Yeah.
do any of that. But that's okay. Again, reason to
Right.
go back.
Because you have
Maybe
to, it's like kissing the cod. Isn't that part of the screech ritual? You actually have to kiss a fish.
you have to kiss a fish. You have to take a shot of Newfie Screech,
Yeah.
and then you have to recite a couple of lines,
Hmm.
basically declaring that you are an honorary Newfoundlander.
Okay.
That's the gist
Well,
of it. But
maybe you have to go
whatever.
with somebody from Newfoundland. Maybe that's part of it.
Like
You
it,
didn't ask.
I just feel like outside of Newfoundland, people think it's happening
Daily.
every minute, and it
Yeah.
just isn't. It just really isn't. Unless you are like absolutely thirsty for it and looking for it and asking
Right.
someone, please screech me in. I've been begging for that. We didn't go down that route.
Did you see anybody being screeched in while you were there?
We did
That would
not.
be
Again,
okay.
I feel like this is one of those rumors that, outside of the island, people think, oh, this is happening, every second. But
Okay.
that wasn't what we observed in the 4 days we were there. Maybe we should have stayed longer. Maybe on day 5, they feel like, okay, now you've earned it. You've spent a few
Nice.
days here. You know a bit more of the lay of the land.
I wonder what that is. Will you go back again? That's kind of as we wrap up this segment.
I
Will you
would
go
love
back
to.
again? Yeah.
Absolutely. The flight was a breeze. The
Yeah.
weather was stupendous. Beautiful people. Great food.
Okay. I'm
So,
going to look into
yeah.
this for you because I think that next time you go, you should definitely be screeched in. There needs to be some way that you don't make a big thing about it. You just kind of come off the plane. Again, it's like remember
Yeah.
when George Costanza couldn't get into the cult in Seinfeld, that episode of Seinfeld where he wasn't invited into
That's
the
right.
carpet cleaners cult, but they
Yeah.
brought his boss in. Something like that, where they're not letting you in for some reason, and we're going to get you in. I'm going to ask around. I'm going to ask my contacts, Daryl, my one contact, what it takes, and maybe we can get you screeched in next time.
Well, that'd be great. But like I said,
It
if
won't
I
make a
had
big
been,
deal.
I didn't even observe it happening, Jay. So it's
Yeah.
not like, whereas the example of the carpet cleaners cult, they were in his apartment. I wasn't
Yeah.
anywhere near the action. So there was no like missing out or feeling like I was being shunned by it. Was just,
No.
it just wasn't happening.
Yeah,
It wasn't a thing.
I assume there is a cod in every Newfoundlander's briefcase.
That's
just
what I
for
thought
an
too.
occasion, a shot
Mhm.
with a cap on it or something.
Yep.
Something I don't know. We don't know why, but we're gonna get to the bottom of it, Barry, for next time. This was an awesome trip, and
It was
next
a
time will be
fantastic
even
trip.
better.
And I felt like you were along because I was sharing
Yeah.
photos on the daily. So I felt like you were right there with me, Jay.
Yeah, and I was screeched in. So that's really weird that you weren't. From home. Yeah, somebody came
Oh,
over to my
good.
home while I was looking at the pictures.
That's perfect.
Let's pivot to shot number 2. You're already
Let's
going
do.
there. Are you
Yep.
having a glass now? Did I see you pour
And no,
that?
it's the same thing. It's the
Oh, it's the
Nalgene.
Nalgene. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
And
Same thing.
same thing here. All right.
Okay.
Cheers to your trip.
Cheers. Thank you. Yeah, so let's pivot to what's in theaters. And Jay, you are just absolutely blowing everyone's hair back with the amount of times you've been to the theaters in the
Yeah.
past 4 weeks.
Yeah.
You recently saw the part sequel, part reboot Naked Gun film with Liam Neeson and Pam Anderson and others. And you said it was hilarious. Please take me through it because I'm a huge fan of those original 3 movies.
Yeah. I was not expecting to go see this movie. We talked about it after
Hmm.
the show, after we were done recording with the movie guy, Rob Peets. I was not interested in seeing this movie. I'm like, they don't really need to remake this movie. Why are they doing this? Then I saw a post from friend of the show, guest of the show, Brian Edwards.
Hmm.
And he just said in his post, he's like, I just saw Naked Gun. You have to go see it in a theater with an audience. So there's these big laughs. And we had time. It was a long
Awesome.
weekend here. And executive producer Aldo Roma and I, we said, look, you want some popcorn? Want to go it was a Sunday. We went on Sunday to go check out this movie. No VIP. There was only
Okay.
the regular theaters, but you can book your seats in a regular theater now. So I like that.
Yes, you can.
So we did that. We went there. 1 hour, 25-minute runtime. Let me tell you, I'm not going to spoil any of it. And it holds up really well. It's as perfect casting as you could get with Liam Neeson picking up the Leslie Nielsen playing his son and Pamela Anderson kind of coming in because it was Priscilla Presley that played the part in at least the first one. Was she in all 3?
All 3. Yeah.
Okay. So just doing that, it was really well done. They other than Pamela Anderson, they cast kind of serious actors to do these comedic roles. I didn't realize it was written and directed by one of the Lonely Island guys. So Akiva, I forget his last name, from like Andy Samberg and him, and there's the other third one that do those Lonely Island shorts for Saturday Night Live. You're glazing
Yeah,
over.
I'm
You don't
not
know them?
familiar with those, but
I'll share some. They're really
okay.
funny. He's really funny. Anyway, he wrote it and directed it. He stayed really true to the original. There were some definite callback jokes from the original ones. I didn't watch the original because I didn't want to spoil any of those. I knew there'd be callback jokes, like, updated versions of them. So it definitely was that. So a lot of them I'm not remembering. And like I said, an hour, 25-minute runtime, perfect amount of time, just great slapstick, comedy stuff, played serious. And I really enjoyed it. Executive producer Aldo Roma really enjoyed it as well. And so I highly recommend seeing it. And I recommend seeing it in a theater if you can while there's a crowd around you, because we don't get these experiences. Comedies don't usually come to theaters anymore. They're all to Netflix.
No.
And to get that group laugh, it happened. And there's one woman in the theater, she's like, every time something happened, so she kind of was like the woo woman. And so it was just funny to have all of that, and everybody was glued in. It had people's attention, which was nice.
So is it a equal part reboot as well as a sequel, kind of like Top Gun Maverick, where if you didn't know any of the previous Naked Gun films, you could just pick it up and just jump right in?
Yeah, they do. It's just a nod to the fact that he is the son. Leslie Nielsen, the reference
Frank
to the
Drebin.
dad. Yeah, Frank Drebin comes in a couple times. You get that reference to it. Otherwise, there's nothing else. Like there's not like the descendant of a bad guy from the previous ones. At least none that I knew of. If it was a descendant of a bad guy, I didn't know who it was. The bad guy is more modeled on like an Elon Musk kind of guy, tech billionaire.
Yeah.
And that kind of sets things up. And it's really cool. It really well played. Yeah, and it's that. And so he's working at Police Squad, and it's great. It doesn't spoil anything because it's set up early on. It's like Leslie Nielsen is a widower and not ready to let love back in. But then here comes Pamela Anderson, and hijinks ensue. And there's some really funny stuff there. I don't even want to spoil any of it. You'll see it.
Yeah.
If you said you might purchase it sight unseen in 4K when it comes out.
Well, 100%. Based on your recommendation, Jay, once I see that popping up on Amazon, I'm just going to go ahead and do a blind buy because I know if you are saying this, then I'm going to enjoy it very much.
Yeah. And in terms of how I've seen for movies for me, I've seen 3 movies in the last 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I have seen 4 movies in the last 2 years. So that's how frequent versus infrequent it was. Because before Naked Gun, Fantastic Four, Superman, it was Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And that was in 2024, I think, right? Or 2023, maybe.
So this is a new trend. Do you anticipate this continuing, Jay? I feel like you're on a heater right now, a movie theater heater, and you never want to leave the table when you're on a heater.
Yeah, right. Thanks, Barry. Maybe. We'll see. You know, with me, it's always a maybe.
Yeah, but maybe we could get you to see The Running Man.
Yeah, I did see the preview for it. It looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So maybe
even Tron. Who knows?
I don't know about Tron. I'm really not.
I know we're on the fence about that.
Yeah, very, very on the fence. Hey, before we wrap up, can we do one rip from the headlines?
Let's do it. You were
kind enough to send some over, which is fantastic.
It's one of our classic tropes.
I'm going to pull one up, and I'm going to pull up the one in the middle, and it is here. Costa Rica's 9-course meal in the sky. Barry, this one deserves to be talked about. What do you serve at a 9-course meal in the sky? Or what's a watch out dish?
I was wondering how you would do here. Unless the first course was like a bag of chips. The second course was like a slice of pizza. The third might have been a hot dog. The fourth, a hamburger.
I'm there for that.
What else? Yeah.
Like
the fifth might be
soup. I wouldn't bring up nine stories in the sky.
No, I know you wouldn't. And nothing with any sauces.
No, I don't want that. But it looks like the people from the picture are in. It's one of those classic, it's been lifted up and you're dining in the trees.
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I feel that at 9 courses, there's some point when I'm going to have to pee.
Yes.
What happens at that situation?
That's a good question. You do wonder. The fact that you're in a treetop restaurant, one would hope that there's at least some kind of crude restroom that has been fashioned out of bamboo or whatever, the surrounding leaves. Who knows?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, to go up and down would be, and then you get down there and it's like one restroom and it's occupied and it's for men and women. That's not what you want. You don't want to see that.
You don't.
I want to see a glorious bank of urinals.
Yeah.
30 deep. That's what I want to see. Then I know, okay, I don't have to worry. Let's have another keg worth of beer.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah, because you're getting thirsty up there after 9 courses. You're probably I've seen you go through Guinness, and that 9 courses, that could be plenty that you would have. And to have to get up and down in a harness, maybe to get you all the way down there, that
would be weird.
What if they just had a little stall, but then the hole was cut out the bottom for the urine or whatever to go down? Wouldn't that be kind of funny if you're eating and then you go into the stall next door and then it's just dropping through the hole?
Like
that would be.
Someone is like lowering you down and
no, like you're just
and then you're
having to pee there and they just cut the bottom out where the urinal is.
Sure.
And so it's self-evacuating.
Nice.
Right next to where you're eating. I don't know why I find that funny. That's real kids humor.
That's good. That's good thinking.
It's not bad. Because we had that at our camp, not in the sky, but when I was a kid at our cottage, it was an outhouse and you just pooped or you peed in a hole and it just went into the ground. There was like a hole cut out.
Yeah, what you're describing is a standard outhouse. I think those have been around since like the 1810s. It's when the first one was erected.
Okay.
So I'm familiar with that. But I like your idea of actually lowering the patron down and having them hover above this hole to do their business and then get pulled right back up.
Also good. Yeah, also kind of fun.
It's not bad. And if you have limited square footage, we're onto something here.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway. 9 courses. How would you finish? What would be your 9th course?
Well, that would have to be a kind of chocolate lava cake, I think would be important, with a little side of maybe vanilla ice cream on that to kind of mess around inside the lava cake as you're eating it. How about yourself? How would you finish?
Yeah, I'd finish probably with maybe a shot, some kind of digestive. Because, I'm not so much into sweets. I would have perhaps, a local shot. If it was a Costa Rican place, whatever they like to finish a meal with, I'd be down.
Pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess you got to tip well so that they'll actually bring you back down.
Yes, and especially if they had to hold you over that hole in the ground at some point, you got to say thanks for doing that. I appreciate you.
Yeah, it's not easy work.
It's not. It's not anything I would want to do. But what I do want to do is be back here with you next week, Jay, and with our viewers and listeners. Thank you very much for being with us as always. Two Shot Tuesday coming at you in a new format, and it's just so much more fun. It really is, Jay.
It really is. And I'm just going to leave us to say, you don't want to miss next week. We have a very special guest and we have got a very special concert rundown. I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah. We'll see you next week, Jay.
See ya. Thank you for listening to Two Shot Tuesday. The show is produced by Barry and I and edited by me. If you have yet to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts, please take a second to do so now. It helps us grow, and it helps new audiences to find the show. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Two Shot Tuesday, and on Twitter at Two Shot Tuesday Podcast. Stop by, give us a follow, leave us a comment, and share your favorite episodes. If you have a question you'd like featured on the show, you can send us a text at 647-486-4848. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.